The wind was colder than usual that night, colder than winter should have felt in a small British town. At the edge of an empty bus stop, beneath a flickering streetlight, a girl named Amelia Carter sat with her hands wrapped tightly around a small silver bracelet. It belonged to her mother, and tonight, she was waiting for someone she never thought would return. Her brother, Lucas. Amelia had always been the quiet one in the family, the one who spoke through her drawings instead of words. She and Lucas were only 2 years apart. He was loud, full of life, always getting into trouble, always laughing. She was gentle, careful, soft-spoken, that they fit together like puzzle pieces. That's how siblings are, opposite, but connected. When their father died of a sudden stroke 3 years earlier, Lucas became the man of the house overnight. He worked long shifts, carrying responsibilities he never asked for but never complained about. Their mother, Emma, used to say, "Lucas has fire. Amelia has heart. Together they're whole, but people with fire burn out faster. And people with heart break deeper." Their mother had been sick for months, a terminal illness that hardened every day into something more painful. Lucas would stay awake for nights, working double shifts, then come home to care for her, refusing to let Amelia handle the hardest parts. "You keep the hope," he told her. "I'll carry the weight." But eventually, the weight crushed him. It started with exhaustion, then anger, then silence. Then he began disappearing for hours, sometimes the whole night. Amelia saw the warning signs, the trembling hands, the dark circles, the forced smile he gave her every morning. But she never imagined how far the pain would push him. On the night their mother died, Lucas vanished. He didn't answer calls, didn't leave a note, didn't say goodbye. Amelia sat by her mother's hospital bed, waiting for him, whispering over and over, "He's coming." He promised he would come, but he didn't. Her mother passed away holding Amelia's hand, her chest rising with one last breath. Amelia cried silently, brushing tears from the corners of her mother's eyes. The nurses tried to comfort her, but all she could say was, "He promised for a year." Amelia heard nothing. No messages, no calls, just silence. People in town whispered things: drugs, trouble, debt, gang involvement. But Amelia refused to believe any of it. She remembered the Lucas who carried her on his shoulders, who stayed up all night helping her finish school projects, who told her stories until she fell asleep. That Lucas wouldn't disappear, unless he was hurting so badly, he didn't know how to ask for help. She waited every day, every birthday, every holiday, every night at the old bus stop, because that's where he said he'd meet her if anything ever happened. "If we ever get lost from each other," he told her at age 12, "we meet here." No matter what, some promises never expire, even if people do. Tonight, on the anniversary of their mother's death, Amelia sat at that bus stop again. The street was empty. The world was quiet. She clenched the bracelet in her palm until it hurt. A soft crunching sound came from behind her. Footsteps on old gravel. Her heart jumped into her throat. She turned, half believing, half terrified, and saw a man approaching. He wore a hood, his clothes soaked from the light rain. For a moment, she thought her waiting had ended. But it wasn't Lucas. It was the town priest, Father Michael. He stopped a few feet away and removed his hood. His expression told her everything before he even spoke. He held a small envelope in his hand, wrinkled, damp, like it had been folded and unfolded too many times. Amelia felt her breathing shorten, her hands trembling. "Where is he?" she whispered. Father Michael shook his head slowly, painfully. He wanted to return to you, Amelia. He tried, but he was very sick. Her whole body froze. Sick? Lucas? The priest's voice became softer, almost breaking. He spent months trying to get clean. He wanted to come home. He came to the church a few times. I spoke to him. He carried so much guilt about the night your mother passed. He couldn't forgive himself. The world around her felt unreal, distant. What happened? She asked, barely holding herself together. Father Michael took a shaky breath. He collapsed yesterday morning. The doctors tried, but his heart was too weak. Amelia felt a violent, sharp pain shoot through her chest. She pressed her hand against her mouth as tears spilled uncontrollably. No, please. He promised me. The priest stepped closer, placing the envelope gently in her hands. He wrote this for you. His last words were, "Give this to Amelia at the bus stop. She will be there." He knew you'd still be waiting. Her legs went weak. She sank down onto the cold metal bench. The envelope trembled in her fingers. Her name was written in Lucas's handwriting, sloppy but familiar. She opened it slowly, terrified of the truth inside. Inside was a single scrap of paper. Tears blurred her vision as she read.
I'm sorry I left you alone. I wanted to come back every day, but I was scared you'd hate me. You were always the heart of this family, Amelia. You were my reason to keep going. I'm sorry I couldn't be yours. If there is another life, meet me at the bus stop. I'll be waiting this time. Lucas.
The paper slipped from her fingers, drifting onto the wet pavement. Amelia covered her face and cried harder than she ever had. Not just for Lucas, but for her mother, her father, her broken home, her broken heart, for all the years she waited alone. For all the years Lucas fought his battles alone. The rain became heavier, soaking her hair and clothes. But she didn't move. She stayed exactly where Lucas expected her to be, at the place where their childhood promises lived. Father Michael placed a gentle hand on her shoulder, but she didn't look up. She just whispered into the cold night air, "You were never alone, Lucas. I was always waiting for you." Hours passed. The streetlight flickered out. The world grew quiet again. And Amelia kept sitting there, holding the bracelet, holding the memory, holding the last piece of the only brother she ever loved. Because sometimes the saddest stories aren't about love lost. They're about the people we couldn't save, even when we tried. And sometimes the heartbreak that breaks us the most is the one that teaches us how deeply we can love.